Gyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gaurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadaraye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Vedanta Sutra, 3rd chapter, 2nd part, text 19 to 28. We have seen how there are different kinds of destination after death. You die, and if you were performing sacrifice, Vedic sacrifice, or pious activities, if you're a religious man, you go to, by the way of Pitri Yana, the way of the forefather. You go to the moon, you go to heaven, and you enjoy, and after some time you come back again into this world. And those who do not worship and do not do sacrifice, they are atheists, they are miscreants, then they go to hell. They go to hell. It seems like they go for a very long time. Sometimes it says millions of years, because the time there is different. It may last only for a few seconds of our estimation, but because it is in the mind, it seems like millions of years. So Sripad Madhvacharya is also saying there is eternal hell. But this eternal hell means very, very, very long time, not just a few seconds. Like we say millions of years in the mind, but it can be also millions of years according to our calculation. If you have done great sins, you may go for millions of years into hell. And then you come back on earth with some residue of karma, just like when you fall from heaven. And you will take birth in any of the family according to your merits and your leftover bad karma. So you become either a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, or a Shudra, or an outcast, and you'll still have to enjoy or suffer. Then there's a third path. Those who follow the path of the sun, or sometimes it is called the path of the god, Devayana, because they are meditating on Brahman, they become liberated from this world. This is the three path, general path. Of course, you may be reincarnated without having to go to heaven or hell or be liberated, simply because your karma is just mixed, and then you can take birth again as a human being. So this is to teach us how to become disgusted with this material world. Nothing is permanent. Even those who go to heaven and think this is life, this is really beautiful, because there also time slows down. One day in Deva, in the Loka, Swarga Loka, is equal to 6 months of all on earth. And the night also equal another 6 months. So it is, the time is also a very long time. And it says that you ascend by the smoke. The smoke is the sacrifice that you've been doing all your life, but it's also when you burn the body, then there's some smoke going up, and then it will become a celestial being, Somaraj. And with that celestial body, then you will enjoy in heaven. But then you will have to fall down, because Srimad Bhagavatam describes, for example, how someone has done nice sacrifice, goes to heaven, and he is surrounded by beautiful damsels called Apsara, very beautiful heavenly woman, and also Gandharvas, nice singers singing your glories, and you can fly in different airplanes called Bimana. They are airplane that actually can go wherever you want just by your mind. You don't need any engine, any machines, and you enjoying very much, and you don't know that you're going to fall one day. And one day will happen, you will fall all of a sudden. And then from ether you will pass through the air, then mist clouds, then you will come through rain. And rain will come on earth and will give nourishment to the earth, which will become grain, like sesame, rice, barn, any kind of grain that will be eaten by people. And then this will be transformed into the semen in the man that will be injected in the womb of a woman. Every of this 5 going up and going down, going up as Samaraj, and then going down, ran body, grain, semen, and so on in the womb. They are called offering, yagya. There's a fire and it is an offering. And yet, this is how you go. The falling down from heaven is very painful. You can understand this myth of the fallen angel. The fallen angel doesn't fall from Vaikuntha. He falls from heaven. This is what happens to everyone who goes to heaven. This heaven are temporary, and we fall down from that. So the sutra that is we're going to use today for our meditation is the Sutra 28, and it's simply said, Yone Shariram. Yone means the womb, Shariram, the body. From the womb, the jiva accepts a body. So the last sutra, this is the last sutra of this part of the second part of the 3rd chapter. It refers to the entry into the womb, Yoni Pravishya. Kapiladev, Lord Kapiladev in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam explained to his mother Devauti that by force of destiny the soul about to be reborn as a human being enters the womb of a woman through sexual intercourse. Then the first 9 semen is united with the ovum. Then 5 days after, then the baby is being shaped first as a bubble, then 10 days as hard as a plum. Then later on it develops into the shape of a ball of flesh. 1 month a head is formed, 2 months hands, feet and other limbs, 3 months the fingers, the toes, the bones, the skin, and all the eyes, nostril, ears, mouth, anus, and genitals are formed. 4 months, the 7 dhatus. The 7 dhatus is the essential ingredients of the body, like plasma, blood, flesh, fat, bones, marrows, and all the different types of fluids in the body. Then hunger and thirst start to develop. 6 months, the fetus in the amniotic sac begins to move, and it derives its nutrition from the mother. But when she eats hot food or pungent food or acid food, it burns his body. Then he feels pain, and he remains in that receptacle with blood and urine. Sometimes it is said also there are worms. There are tiny worms that bite his body. Then his memory starts to come back to him, and he begins to pray. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained that not every soul in the womb is praying. Only those who were devoted to Vishnu, to God, then they can pray. He also adds, the karmi souls, those who have done karma yoga or karma activities in the sense of sacrifice, they will remember the previous lives. The jnani souls, they will practice meditation. The yogis will practice yoga. So if you have a baby who is a yogi, he's going to do all kinds of yogic asana in the body. This is a joke. But it is said, devotees will worship the Lord. And he will pray, "Oh my Lord, I know that I've committed so many sins and I'm come back to the womb, and I pray that I will become your devotees and I will serve you and everything." He makes very beautiful prayers, and as soon as he is born, he forgets everything. And he falls into Maya again. So you may ask a question, well, how come a devotee, he's in the womb remembering how to pray to Bhagavan Vishnu or Krishna himself, and then he forgets everything? Well, because his sadhana is not complete. It's just like here on earth, we are trying to practice sadhana, and there are so many obstacles and sometimes stumbling blocks into our bhakti, and sometimes we may forget completely to worship the Lord properly. And but Maya will slap us, will give us some slap, and we will remember and we will again practice. So this is what it is stressed. The Vedanta Sutra is telling that this pada, or this part of the chapter, is teaching how to become renounce, viragya. How to renounce. Actually, it's not the second part, it's still the first part. I make a mistake. The second part will come just after this one. It's called Bhakti Pada. It is because once you have understood the need of viragya, the need of not being attracted either to heaven or to hell. It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, one who is wise never hankers to go to heaven, or he certainly doesn't want to go to hell. And he doesn't aspire to even stay on earth as a permanent residence, because he knows that this is all temporary and full of misery. It is not his real home. So he will try to do whatever he has to do. Before death comes, he will try to do what he has to do. It is said also that someone who is doing good deeds may not go to heaven, and someone who is doing bad activities may not necessarily go to hell. It all depends how he is acting. If he's acting with karma yoga, like he's just dedicating his action, not being attached, then he will not go to heaven nor go to hell. So it is said also that some cruel people, they cut down the trees where the nest of the birds is living, and the bird, is like a soul, and the tree is like the body. Death will cut down the tree, the body will fall down, and you will have to go to another tree to make your nest. But the bird is not affected so much because he knows this is just a tree. But we, because of the fear of death and ignorance, we are thinking everything is destroyed with us. Everything we have built. Karmi people, they think that this is the only life they have. Everything they have done for their family is all going to be destroyed, and everything is ruined. So they live in dire misery. And one needs to start becoming inquisitive. This is the idea of Vedanta Sutra. Atato Brahmajigyasa, that now as a human body, I should inquire about God. And it says this in this chapter of Bhagavatam, we stress the importance, neither go to heaven or go to hell. It concludes with this famous verse, Nideham adyam sulabam sudurlabam plavam sukalpam guru karanadaram maya nukulena nabasva teritam puman bhavabdim nataretsa atmaha. The body, human body, nrideha, sulabam sudurlabam, very rare, very, very precious, because it is so rare. And yet we can use this opportunity, because this body is described as a plava, as a perfectly constructed boat. And Guru Karnadharam, the guru is the captain of that boat. And you have all the different winds, the instruction of Krishna given in the Veda as the wind, the favorable wind that will help the boat to move, because those boats are they're not with the machinery. They have they need to wind to move. And those who don't use this opportunity, atmaha, it's like they're killing the soul. Of course, the soul cannot be killed, but it's almost the same, because if they don't take advantage of this human life, then they will go to hell or heaven or whatever, but they will waste such valuable time. And again and again and again and again, they will come back into this world. And we have to be inquisitive enough to know that this is not the real world. Earth and heaven and hell is not the real world. It's not our real place. We don't belong here. We belong to the super plane. And we have to develop this super consciousness So this is the human life. We have to make the best use of a bad bargain, like Prabhupada was always saying. This human body is not always functioning the way we want. The life is short and is full of problems. Make the best use of that. Otherwise, we go to hell. Even if we go to heaven, we go to hell because we forget what is the most important thing in our life, to know God and to know ourselves. And this way, no more misery. Vaikunta. Panchakalpa tarubhya kripa sindhu bhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.